this discussion a long time ago, but lawyers are magicians. There's magic words. And if the right magic words get said, the magic trick happens and everything goes away.
No, 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 no.
Sorry, Kiwifarms. Life doesn't work out the way you pretend it does.
I wonder if Camelot is still holding that stance that Rekieta won, lol. Yeah, probably not, because that didn't age properly. That aged rather poorly. Do you know what else aged rather poorly? A bunch of Nick's tweets. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever had any doubt that Rekieta Law, Nicholas Robert Rekieta, was a terrible lawyer and had no legal expertise in the back of his freaking head, and it was just a complete freaking con man the entire time, well, you have proof right now. The long-lived secret that a bunch of people had already had in the back of their heads has now been made
Breaking
public.
Baldo news, courtesy of Breaking Baldo News.
In the case of Rekieta Law, the motion to dismiss has been denied in its entirety. No Frank's hearing, no doubt. Candy, Ohio County PD exonerated. See the attached details. And I'm going to give you a very short, condensed version of all these tweets because like they have done quite a bit. We're going to be live reacting to everything this Friday at our Friday show, Friday Night Rackets. Well, it's actually Friday Night SEN, but put a little spotlight on our good friend Rackets as he is the funniest guy to talk about right now. And, well, I have a little bit of a history with him, so it only seems right that your friendly neighborhood SEN go over this. But yeah, a little bit of the condensed version here. We got all this paperwork, which again we'll be going over this Friday and stuff. So basically, the naysayers, or you know, whatever the evil people against Rekieta, the damn Kiwifarms and the A-logs, well, they ended up being right again. All right, this is becoming a pattern of behavior, right? A pattern of life is that Nick Rekieta is always wrong, and everybody that points out common sense to him is always right. Man, who could have seen that coming? But more in the Breaking Baldo news, Nick Rekieta faces an unwinnable battle, pathetically trapped between a failed defense and a hypocritical plea deal. As Rekieta Law stumbles deeper into his legal hellscape, it's becoming painfully clear that his options are as bleak as they are laughable. If this deluded defendant thinks he can plead not guilty and somehow emerge victorious, he's either in deep denial or completely detached from reality. The mountain of evidence stacked against him, completely with damning videos, seized drugs, and firearm galore, means that any attempt to fight this in court will lead to nothing short of a catastrophic, embarrassing defeat. And if you know anything about the nose, oh, that's gonna tear away at him. He can, oh my god. Last time we had a horrible thing happen to Nick legally that he didn't really want to happen, I believe this was in the Monograph thing. That is when he had like his infamous Coca-Cola stream, right? Where he had a lot of Coca-Cola, right? And, or so I hear. We might need to revisit the timeline, you see. So, on the other hand, if Rekieta suddenly flips the script and seeks a plea deal, it only proves what everybody's already been thinking. He's a spineless, hypocritical serial liar. The same man who once boasted about lying law enforcement a paper-thin warrant and sarcastically asking everyone, what did I do wrong, now reduced to begging for leniency. All while knowing full well he's been caught red-handed in a pathetic web of drug-fueled lies of his own making. A plea deal would make him crawl on his hands and knees to the very system he's mocked and ridiculed, try to weasel his way out of the inevitable punishment, begging for reprieve. Nick Rekieta has no path to redemption, whether he fights and loses spectacularly or sells out his own principles for a reduced sentence. His reputation is dead. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever thought that Rekieta was not fit to handle this, well, you've been exonerated or you've been redeemed or anything, because you were right. Nick was always a shitty lawyer. Or for those that want to continue to be charitable, there's the possibility that Nick just went on the wrong, on the wrong path, right? Of unrighteousness and heathenism and all that good stuff, right? But here you go. This is some of Rekieta's tweets that didn't age properly. We have this one. And he was tweeting about this on August 22nd. So he said, an issue at the trial because authenticity of the video would be obviated by just getting the original from YouTube. This is where Nick was banking on the fact that, well, let's just read it. The defendant argues Deputy Pomplin did not watch the entire May 22nd, 2024 video and that only watched a minute of the clip obtained on PowerPoint. The PowerPoint clip obtained in Exhibit 2 shows that the defendant's video is 4 hours and 4 seconds long, 4 hours, 4 minutes, 4 seconds. When that image is cross-referenced with the full video of Exhibit 10, the same image appears on a corresponding timestamp. Exhibit 4 is an image that is perpetually taken from the clip in the PowerPoint file. When the image of Exhibit 4 is cross-referenced with the full video of Exhibit 10, the same image appears as the corresponding timestamp. There is no evidence that the images of Exhibit 2 and 4 are inaccurate. Depiction of the defendant's May 21st, 2024 video. Let me save you the legal mumbo-jumbo as the common man. This means Nick was wrong, and it means that what he was relying on, them not using the tape, well, didn't work out for him. The authenticity, that's pretty authentic, or so the court decided. Now, again, a bunch of these tweets as well, but how are people dealing with him on his locals? Well, if you go over here, this is the reception. Be a man, Nick, and plead. Reserve what little dignity you have left. This feels like a setup to me. Nick, bro, I don't bitch and moan about streams and stuff, but we kind of need one of It's all crumbling. It's all crumbling down.
The reason why I do feel vindicated because I hate being called, dummy, corrupt. My analysis is bad. I don't know what I'm talking about. I should get a real legal job. And now the person who was saying all that is looking like the dummy. Their whole analysis was wrong, right? Their whole entire, matter of fact, the judge threw it all out and said it's garbage. So, I think when people start looking for, there are some political analysis that people should go to, right? Politics, right? People will do politics. When you come to legal analysis, you should start looking at who's getting it right and who's getting it wrong, or at least who's giving you the fair analysis. Because again, like we were both saying, we don't know if the judge was going to deny all this. But if I was the judge, I would deny it, but we'll see what happens, right? And it's a fair assessment. There are other people saying the judge is going to straight up grant the Frank's hearing.
No.
But as you can see, there was no Frank's hearing. There isn't going to be no Frank's hearing.
I thought it was pretty weak sauce, and so I'm feeling a little bit vindicated myself because it's like, yeah, I thought this was pretty weak, and the judge seems to agree with me. It's pretty weak. So
yeah, we always say that. We always say that. We were being called idiots and fools and not understanding the law and being so. It's like no. We understood it. It was the person who was saying that. Like I kept saying, I wrote search warrants. I defended search warrants. And when I saw this, you said, matter of fact, you were like, the search warrant is unattackable. That's what you said. You said, it's unattackable. It's gonna hold up. And then guess what? It held up as essentially unattackable.
I did say that.
Every exact word.
I did say that because I'm like, well, I can't find it.
We won't even get into how bad your analysis has been on the actual substance of the motion that we filed. So I started to get the feeling that maybe the practicing lawyers out there don't deal with Frank's challenges to warrants.
Okay, it's time to get Kiwifarms' take from the official Kiwifarms.net Twitter account. Rekieta's request to throw out the warrant and all the evidence collected from it has been denied. Rekieta Law claims that the police watched an quote-unquote altered version of the stream was without merit. Another omnibus hearing will be scheduled later on. Clarification, we had anticipated that there would be a second omnibus hearing after the Franks hearing, but it appears that the judge has decided Rekieta has waived any other potential pretrial motions not raised. The next step in this case must be appeal, plea, or trial. So we got 3 options, okay? All other omnibus issues not argued with particularly or otherwise specifically identified to the court as a contested issue at the omnibus hearing, whether included in the written notice or not, or denied. Denied, baby, denied. You've been denied, Nikki. The no's haven't been waived by the defendant. So, suffer Nick Rekieta, bro. Thinks he's Alec Baldwin. Maddox
To wrap this up, Nick was a con man that flew too high to the sun, lied one too many times, had everything going for him, but completely dropped the ball. But if you don't want to hear it from me, hear it from
Imagine that level of success. You start off as a modest little lawyer from northern Minnesota, reading off legal documents and talking to an audience of maybe a few hundred people. And you parlay that over the years into an audience of 100,000 plus people watching you do court coverage in a unique way. So unique that you have television stations and Netflix documentaries and news articles writing about you. You've got Rumble offering you personalized contracts for big buku bucks. Everything's looking up. Everything is looking great. I mean, there you are. You're a family man. You have the perfect life. You have the ideal life, the life people strive for. A lot of people out there have dreams of what they want. They want fame, success, money. But we also have those modest dreams, those attainable things that are just out of grasp, but if we put enough work into it, we could have it. And that's what Nick Rekieta had. He had a family, a wife, loving wife that he was married to for many years. He had multiple children, lived in a beautiful house, had an inheritance, had a degree in a profession that would have provided for him for the rest of his life. And then on top of that idyllic life that most people would strive for, he found numerous successes. It's insane. And he was right on the cusp, right on the edge of taking that and turning that into something that was going to be amazing. And you're about to hear the story of a man that allowed victory to defeat him. You're about to hear the story of a man that allowed his faults and foibles and follies to his personal vices to overwhelm him.
Okay, guys. So I got this weird anonymous letter the other day. It was this is different than you. This is real quick, and this can take 1 second. We'll get to the full letter for Andrew in just a second. I got to this anonymous letter or the anonymous package. It was postage not paid. Like I had to pay the postage on it to receive it, and the post office like, well, where was it sent from? And it had my address as the return address with me as the sendee, which is not true. And in it had this burned piece of paper, which I feel like I'm going to get serial rape here. It says, the stars are aligned. A new host is chosen. Hail unto thee, Nick Chan Rekieta. And then with that came this. And this was so weird because this came before the mention of Sonic in the trademark dispute that we were talking about last night.
And at the ending of the day, as a bear would say, the end is nigh, the end is nigh. Karma is a thing, ladies and gentlemen. Even if you don't believe in imaginary Skyman, what you put into the universe, you will inevitably get tenfold. Nick thought he was so above it all, so godlike. They didn't think this was ever going to be a problem that he'd have to face in the future, but boy, was he ever wrong. So with that, hope you enjoyed this video. Like and share it, because YouTube ain't going to do it for me, but the SEN Squad sure will. I'll see you Friday on our stream where we're going to go over this more in depth. I just wanted to give you the condensed version right now, but there are going to be plenty of laughs to be had, and I'll keep you updated with all things Rekieta. And until next time, guys, have a good day. And remember, don't be rackets.